Hi, and welcome to today's edition of Ask Mike. My name's Mike Blissett, speaker, trainer, coach. And I know it's around, I think it's about 5:05. I'm a few minutes late. I had a few technical issues, microphone not sticking to my t-shirt and the sneezes. And so I can't believe that 2 weeks ago, I was doing a Facebook Live post from an event I was speaking at in Kent on the hottest day in the UK in September for I think it's something like 250 years. It was 34.5 degrees, and today I don't know what the temperature is outside, but it feels cold. It feels cold, and it's only 2 weeks ago. So as you can see, I'm not sure I can show you. It's kind of dark and dismal and grey, and it's been raining and drizzling, and I'm contemplating whether to put a jacket on because I'm cold. So anyway, welcome to today's Ask Mike session, and I'm going to go straight into a question I was sent by Dean this week. Dean, I think Dean, I can't see it at the moment. I pinned it to my board. I didn't say where he's from. I think he's from. I think he was from London. Dean, if you're listening to this live or watching it on sort of Facebook playback or whatever it is, and you're not from London, apologies, but wherever you're from, I think you're from London. I just wanted to say hi. Thank you very much for sending in the question. And I'm going to go straight into Dean's question. As I say, I pinned it to the board. I thought it might be easier. I think next time maybe my iPad will be probably easier because it would be closer because I can't quite see the board. But anyway, what I pinned to the board, I think, was Dean's question. I just listened to a speaker share how he made his first million. And whilst that's impressive and inspiring, the truth is I still need to make my first penny. The truth is I don't know where to start. And whilst that guy is impressive, it just doesn't help me. Can you help or suggest anything, Mike? Many thanks, Dean. So that was Dean's question. And it's one that certainly resonates with me, and also with a lot of people I tend to train with in workshops in companies, and I speak with when I do some training at other organizations like the Coaching Academy. People who don't necessarily see themselves as a professional speaker or don't see themselves as in that kind of league yet, but they want to dip the toe in it. They want to see how they could get into it on whatever way or whatever level would be right for them. And I think it is a journey. It really is a journey to get from the get-go, from the free. And I think there's probably a step with your speaking even before it's for free. And this is where you just need to find something to say and also an audience. I think there are even pre-steps before you even start talking about transitioning from speaking for free to speaking for a fee. And so, yeah, I whether you, Dean doesn't say what he does for a living, whether he is a coach. I know a lot of people on my Facebook page, on my mailing list, are coaches. And also a lot of entrepreneurs, people are working in other companies, so other kind of industries that come to the in-house workshops just to kind of brush up or learn some new skills for when they need to give a presentation, when they need to talk to a group of people within their job, and just to feel more confident about doing it. So wherever you are on that kind of journey, Dean and everybody else that's listening to this, this one is for you. So I think all journeys, they really begin with that single step, and the first step is just knowing that I guess it's the realization you are on that journey. What I would suggest, Dean, and also anyone else who is listening to this who wants to begin that journey or continue that journey as a speaker, is to start to dream. And what I mean by dreaming is it's a bit like the Stephen Covey idea from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Habit 2, begin with the end in mind. And I think all good dreams, they start in the head. And I think then the best ones are the ones that kind of arrive on a piece of paper or on your Evernote, or you print it up on your computer, or whatever. How you record your dreams, the best dreams are the ones, or the most useful dreams are the ones that are recorded. So I'd encourage you, Dean, and whoever else is listening to this, to just think about what kind of a speaker, what kind of events, what kind of feelings would you like to have as a speaker who is, whether you call it professional or great or good or motivational or inspiring or paid or whatever it would be. What would this kind of, not necessarily the top of the mountain be, the finished article, but the next logical kind of plateau, the step that you want to head towards, where you would be able to know that you've actually made a significant step forward. So what is that? What's the dream there? And I'd encourage you to write it down. And then also with any work we do, that I do with my clients as well, one of the secrets is to write your ideas down, but then also to keep them present state. So to keep them in front of you, on your phone, on the fridge door, on the table in your office, wherever it is that you are, where you'll see it a lot, and keep referring back to it and keep plugging into it and having this dream and expanding the dream. And when you expand the dream, add some more to your notes so that the dream grows. And I think that's a really great way to start the process of enabling your dream to become your reality. Once you've done that, and I think that's a really important prep work to do, as I say, before you even start speaking, I would say at that point you don't need to necessarily know what your speech is going to be, or what your niche or specialization or market or whatever it might be is. Just start with a dream. The detail kind of will come later. And sometimes we start with the detail, saying that, well, actually, obviously, I'm going to be speaking on, I don't know, that subject, whatever that subject is for you. And that can sometimes kind of almost like straitjacket us into an area of speaking that probably isn't the right one for us. It might be, but it might be something else. And if you start with a little bit more of like an open book, where you can try different things out that you can speak about, you might stumble across, you might speak across something that it just resonates with you, that if you hadn't been open enough to look for it, you might never have found. So I think that's a really good idea to do that as well. So with the speaking, I think it's also a good idea to kind of think of building a speaking career, the same as a coaching career or a mentoring business or whatever kind of business you have. The way I look at it is it's a bit like a step ladder. You don't start on the top step, you start on the bottom step. So just think about when you do want to speak, where are the opportunities? Where are the, what's that phrase? The low-hanging fruit. Where's the low-hanging fruit for you? Is it speaking up in meetings? Is it offering to give a presentation at work, where ordinarily you and all the other members of the team would kind of usually shy away from it when the boss or the manager or whoever asks for somebody to make a presentation next week, and everybody shies away? Maybe this is your opportunity to start thinking that actually this is something I could do. So just think about it that way. So what is the low-hanging fruit? And then start to look around, okay, what are the low-hanging fruit there is? And again, if we're talking in these kind of terms of these, sort of analogies, so we got the step ladder, we got the low-hanging fruit. So let's kind of stick with the analogies here and move to the pond. Now you might think of, what is he talking about the pond for? Just trust me for a moment, I'm a coach, okay? It's like dropping the pebble into the pond, and of course, the pebble doesn't just make the water splash and that's the only water that's affected. Of course, then it starts to ripple out. So when you start with your low-hanging fruit, you speak at work, you speak at whether it's the church or in a service or you know, I guess even at a party when you're the one that stands up and welcomes everybody there, or at a networking event where you can give a 60 seconds to the whole group. So you start with the low-hanging fruit and then start to ripple out and notice where else you can speak as well. Again, you can speak on almost anything, but what I want you to be doing is getting experience, getting what I would call stage time. Whether it's on a stage or whether it's just standing in front of people or even sitting in front of people, you're having stage time where you're practicing this art of addressing groups of people, and that's the kind of the next step on the ladder. And from there on, just think about, well, where else can you speak? And there's so many groups, there's thousands of groups all over the world, whichever city or wherever countryside you may be living, that have people that meet to, whether it's socially or in a business context or in networking or whatever it is, that is an opportunity for you if you want to do a presentation, to get some speaking experience, the next rung on the ladder. And then from then on to think about going from fee to free. And again, this is not how you made your first million. This is right at the very beginning, but these are the solid foundations that all the speakers, all the very successful speakers that I've worked with and that I know about and I've spoken with, they all do this. They all start here. It's the firm foundations. I think the next one is to start looking about, okay, the transition is the only currency that a group can pay you with, money. And of course, money is very nice and useful and we can do a lot of stuff with it, but it's not the only way that you can be paid. I remember I spoke for at a local, I think it was a quarterly meeting of a group of engineers. Now, I've never been an engineer. I have no idea, you know, really. But I just offered to speak at their quarterly meeting to go through, I think this is about 15 years ago now, it was a goal setting model. I think it's probably something like the Wheel of Life or something. And I offered to do it for about 20 minutes. So they had their meal at some hotel, really nice hotel, and they had their meal. And they always had a speaker once a quarter. And so that meeting, I would get up with my little flip chart at the end of the table and give my 20 minutes. And the way they paid me was to give me this, you know, be part of the really nice meal. So I had a really nice meal, had to kind of watch the wine a little bit because I'd be speaking at the end of it. But that was a way to pay the speaker. It's the way that they paid the speaker. So just think about, again, how else can you get paid apart from the money that's going to be, it's getting you into the idea of talking about being paid in some way for your talk, for your expertise. And then kind of going forward, people, that there are other groups that I've spoken at, and I got these ideas from other people, where there was no there was no payment, but they had a video camera, so they offered to record the event, just a very simple record of the event. But again, this is dynamite for you, because whilst you might have an impression of how you went down on the night, how your message landed, and on what the kind of reception was, to have that third eye, that independent eye, isn't necessarily another person, because that other person, whilst they will have seen it from their point of view, it'll be their point of view. It won't be an independent point of view, whereas a camera is. So you get the chance to have it recorded and just sent to you, and you can save it on your computer. This is a really great way to get paid for your speaking, and also so you can work on your speaking. And then slowly, as you start to move towards money, then again, start on the bottom rung of the ladder. I think the first speaking event I got paid for, I think it was £30 for about 20 minutes, which is crazy. And but the thing is, it was £30 that I'd never been paid before for speaking. And so it was a big deal for me. It just begins, because the £30 can become 50 and 100 and 300 and 800 and 1,000, and you know, depending on where you're speaking and what kind of an audience and what kind of an event. So it's about beginning. So hopefully, Dean, that has helped you. I've got some love hearts going across the screen. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So Dean and whoever else is kind of listening to this on live or you're watching it later on Facebook catch up, and you want to start looking at how you can speak more. Speak better, as the PSA, the Professional Speaking Association, say, how you can do that, and if you want to, how you can start to be recognized for it as well, whether that's with the people around you, whether that's having some form of a payment, and who knows what could grow out of that, a speaking career, a speaking business as well. So hopefully that is useful for you. I read this one out this week because it's a question I get asked a lot. You know, how can I do it? I know there's a lot of very successful speakers out there, but how can I begin? And whilst a lot of people that come to the in-house workshops just need to get through a meeting without crying or stammering their way through it, or just going to pieces, being even off work, you know, sick because they're too scared to speak at a meeting. Many people do speaker training just to get through that, and I totally understand that because I used to be exactly the same. Some people that come to the workshops also want to take the next step, you know, onto the ladder, and so that kind of has made me think. The training I do in organizations is called Speak Like a Pro, and it's a one-day workshop, and it's just giving you the first few rungs of this ladder and some real cool tips and tools of how you can present yourself, position yourself, and make yourself understood in front of an audience. So from the audience point of view, you look more like a professional. So that's something I've been doing in organizations for actually quite a few years now. And it's something I've been asked, do I do other workshops, you know, workshops where regular people can come and book on them as well? And the answer is I haven't done yet. So I'm going to put it out here now. If you are interested, and this includes you, Dean, if you are interested in coming to an open Speak Like a Pro workshop, probably in December, because I'm kind of busy for the next month or so, but probably in December, early mid-December, so before Christmas, if you're interested in coming to a one-off, one-day Speak Like a Pro workshop in London, message me, let me know, leave a comment, and if there is enough interest, and if I can see a date in the diary, then we'll kind of make that happen. Okay, so I'm just putting it out there. There's no specific date yet, but sometime in December, early December, before we start getting into the whole Christmas kind of craziness. If you want to attend a Speak Like a Pro workshop in London one day, just let me know, and if there are numbers, then I will put something together and I'll let you know. So it's important you message me, it's important you let me know, just so that I know there's interest. And if not, that's completely cool. I carry on doing these Facebook Live posts and keep doing these workshops for teams in organizations anyway, because that's kind of what I do. So that's it for this edition of Ask Mike. I can't believe we're it's been 6 weeks into it now, which is great. From this week, I'm going to aim to do 2 Ask Mike sessions a week. So I'm getting a lot more questions than I imagined. So I'm going to do one on Saturday. So I'm training in London on this Saturday, this coming Saturday, until early afternoon. So it's going to be just after I finish. So probably about 2 or 3 o'clock. I'll put a post on my Facebook page to let you know exactly what time. So if you want to, you can listen and engage and ask me questions live. You're more than welcome there. If you have really enjoyed the video, please give the video a thumbs up. And also at the top of the page of my Facebook page, please give that a like as well. So click the like button. It would be really helpful if you did that, because it'll just attract more people to these videos as well. And if you have a question, that you think I might have some idea or some insight in that's going to help you, please message me, send me a comment underneath this video, or go to my website and just go to the comments box, or go to the content page, connect page. I'm getting the page right. The connect page on my website. There's a box there where you can put your question in and just click send, and then it sends me that as well. And of course, if you're on my mailing list, just hit reply. It's fine. But as I say, send your questions in as and when they come up. And if I can help, I certainly will try to. So that's it for this time. Have a great whatever rest of the day you're having. Here it's kind of a rainy, windy London. If you're in London, probably put a jacket on. It's going to get cool. And I'll see you on Saturday. Take care.